YouTube, what's going on? BD Wolfgang 1980 here, aka Bezell, the man to see and the place to be in the QCNC. Sorry it's been a while. I've been thinking about you guys. I've been chomping at the bit to do some videos, so we're going to roll it on out. Don't worry. Stay tuned. There's going to be a few uploaded today. But welcome into your Impact TNA Impact Wrestling review for October the 8th, 2014. This is the go home show, or the last show right before a pay-per-view. Pay-per-view this Sunday is Bound for Glory, which is normally TNA's, their biggest pay-per-view of the year. We're going to discuss this year's Bound for Glory. That's going to be a whole nother video. I'm going to try to stay away from that on this video. We're just going to talk about what we saw tonight. Very good Impact Wrestling. You guys, if you like action, if you've been missing action in your wrestling, you've been missing some developing storylines in your wrestling, this is the show for you tonight. Let's dive right in. The show started off with a video package recap of, what's been going on lately with the whole Bobby Roode and Lashley, or should I say Bobby Roode's quest to get back in the top, get right back in that spot, to get that gold around his waist. Well, we get after the video package concludes, Roode walks down to the ring. He gets in there, he has a microphone, he's ready to do some talking. He actually calls out Lashley. He wants Lashley's attention. Lashley, one more match. Don't let MVP, don't let Kenny King talk for you. You're the champ. You're your own man. And of course, this cannot go on, you drop MVP's name, this will not go unpunished. Of course, we must be graced with his presence. So MVP and Kenny King come out to the ring, microphone in hand. MVP does his usual trash talking. Hey, I might not be the champion, and, but either way, I speak for the champion because the champion, he allows intelligent people like myself to do his talking for him. He uses these. MVP uses the brain and the gift of gab. So he basically explains to Roode that, hey, don't care who told you yes or no or whether or not Lashley agreed to him. I'm speaking for him, and this is the way it's going to go. You had your shot. You got beat in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. MVP goes down the list of all the guys that Lashley has defeated on his title run, which, is very impressive. You're talking some good TNA baby faces. And he's ran through all of them, including Roode. So eventually it comes down to a little bit of posturing, a little bit of trash talking. Roode tells MVP and King that he will do anything to get that rematch one-on-one with Lashley. This makes the wheels and the gears start spinning in Kenny King and MVP's head where they come up with an idea of, hey, you want to do anything, huh? Whatever it takes, I believe those were his exact words. Well, we can work with you on that. You versus King of the Night versus the half man, half amazing MVP. And you can beat us. And this is not a handicap tag match, folks. This is a match where everyone's in the ring. So, hey, to each their own. But if you agree to this, you get your shot against the champ, the destroyer, Bobby Lashley. You get it. But if you don't, you will never get another TNA title shot again. I'm going to stop there. I just want to pause real quick on that. This stipulation has been done before. And it's kind of hard to get behind when it's such a name like Bobby Roode. I wish they'd have left that stipulation out of it. For me, it almost felt like I know what's going to happen. But let's just keep on moving on here. Roode agrees to those stipulations, and then that concludes this segment. From there, we get the recap of the Knockouts Championship match that we got last week, which I apologize, guys. I really wanted to do a video for y'all on my thoughts on Havoc, becoming the new Knockout champion. So I do apologize on that. But let's just talk about what happened tonight. They showed a recap package and of how the feud went down with Gale and Havoc. How Havoc had jumped Gale, on the way to the ring last week. And then Gale, being the fighter that she is, refuses to quit or to back out of the match or forfeit the match. So she fights Havoc injured. We all know what's going to happen. You can't fight a big bruiser like Havoc injured, guys. You know that, and I know it. Gale, hats off to you. You're one of my favorites of all time as far as this modern age. But not even you, that big bruiser. But, hey, we get it. That's pro wrestling for you. It's fine with me. I'm not angry. So we get a number one contenders match. We had the Angelina Love of the Beautiful People, Taryn Terrell, welcome back. Madison Rain, 3 knockouts, two former champions. Taryn Terrell has never held the belt. And they put on a decent match. I mean, we're not setting the world on fire here, but it was a decent match. I was entertained. Some decent spots in there. All the women did, their usual couple moves that they like to do. There was some interference from Madison getting in the way, making things complicated for Taryn and making things complicated for, excuse me, did I say Madison? I meant Velvet Sky. Forgive me. Velvet Sky was, she's got the back of her homegirl, Angelina Love. Let's see here. Now, Madison ends up winning the match. Havoc's music hits, and then, the Divas account, excuse me, Divas, the knockouts were all say, all right, let's get ready to happen now. We've seen the damage that Havoc can do. Well, as Havoc is coming to the ring, Taryn Terrell, the beautiful people they're already out. The heels, they're not messing with her, so they're already out of the ring. Madison and Taryn Terrell are left standing in the ring. They had a little spat earlier because, I should have mentioned this, they had a little spat earlier because both women obviously want to win the belt, and when one was pinning one was getting a pin, the two baby faces interrupted the pin, and then it caused them to argue a little bit. But at this point, forget all that. Madison leaves Taryn Terrell high and dry in the ring. Says, Havoc, I don't want any. And poor Taryn pays the price. She took she got grabbed up and choked in the air, and then she took a vicious choke slam as well, which we've seen Havoc do now on a regular basis. So, yes, okay. So she beats up Taryn, Madison leaves. So I imagine that's going to leave a little bit of story arc, a little opening for the two friends to see how they handle that. As far as, the match was over. Madison had no reason not to have Taryn's back. So we'll see how that works out. I'm interested. I love my knockouts. I know a lot of you do too. So let's see how this goes down. Next, we get a backstage segment with MVP, King of the Night, King. They're back there talking to the Destroyer Lashley. Lashley looks a little miffed about how his career is being decided and directed by someone who's not the champion. But MVP and King just reassure him, hey, don't worry. We got this. You ain't got nothing to worry about. How's he going to beat the both of us? Come on now, player. How's he going to beat us both? So they reassure Lashley. Lashley just, he just smiles and smirks. Then from there, we get a video package showing the culmination or the formation of the James Storm stable. I don't know what we call it yet, guys. Have you got your own names for it? I've been calling it the James Storm Revolution, the James Storm stable. I'm sure some of y'all got some cool names out there for it. Comment down below. I want to hear what you call it. The only thing I want to mention up front before we go on with the match, the only thing that kind of scares me about the Storm stable or the Storm Revolution is it can be a little Bray Wyatt-ish at times. I just hope they don't go too far with some of the similarities because, you know how the TNA haters are or the TNA protractors are. They will come out the woodwork on anything. I do like this gimmick. And to be honest with you, it works for me. It works for James Storm. He can roll with stuff like this, guys. It's very believable for me. But let's get down to it. They show the formation of the group. They show how he kidnapped, or I don't want to say kidnapped, how he slowly got into Sonata's head and changed him into the Great Sonata. They show the abduction of Manic and the transformation of him as well. Now this leads us to a match. We end up having Storm and Sonata versus Low Ki and Tigre Uno. Good match. Not the longest in the world, nothing crazy or anything, but it was a good, decent match. It told a story. Sonata and Storm were working well together. They got a match together at the pay-per-view, so they were working well together. Low Ki, enough said. The guy can roll. Tigre Uno, he's doing pretty well himself. He caught a lot of heat when he first got to TNA. Me, I'm more of a kind of slow down, give a guy a chance type wrestling fan, but he took a lot of heat. People were kind of on him. I think they were comparing him to Rey Mysterio too much. There's a reason why Rey Mysterio, when he retires, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Just slow down, guys. Get a guy a chance. He's not bad. He did his part, and they told a good story in the ring. He had a couple of good moves, too. But unfortunately for the new team of Low Ki and what's his boy name? And Uno. I just got done talking about him. I forgot. I'm sorry, folks. I'm still pumped up from this episode, you guys. I'm still pumped. That was a good episode. But Storm and Sonata get the win. Like I said, they do have a match at the pay-per-view, so that makes perfect sense. They're leading into the pay-per-view, coming off a win. We also got to see Sonata spray some mist, which is always cool. I'm from the 80s, guys. I grew up. I remember when Great Muta made his debut, NWA wrestling. Gary Hart, manager. I remember all that. I was probably about 7 or 8. So I mark out when I see the mist. Doesn't bother me one bit. I love it. I mark out. But we had a good match. Told a story. Kept everything moving. Not too much talking. Once again, I wish they the guys on the other side that come on Monday night could learn a few things. It's been brutal over there lately. Brutal. I don't want to get off on a tangent. Let's keep this review going. Next, we get Sam Shaw versus Bram, two of my new favorites, especially Bram. I did a video talking about him earlier, a couple videos back. Check it out. I think it was my Jessica Havoc debut video where I talk about how new stars are being built. I like Bram, guys. I'll say it again. Another video. I like him. For me, entertainment is very key. And I know entertainment's a dirty word. Shh. It's pro wrestling. No one wants to hear entertainment. Yeah, entertainment is key and vital in wrestling. You can beat each other up all day long. You have the biggest, highest spots, but there ain't no storytelling or no gimmick of something, some type of story arc. What's the point? So as far as entertainment goes, Bram, man, he's A+. Man, as soon as he comes out the curtain, he's got that stare, that intensity, that craziness, the birds and, everything spinning over his head. He looks crazy, and it works. I love it. So Bram comes out to the ring. Then we get Sam Shaw rocking a new look, at least new for you guys that are only familiar with him in TNA. He came out shirtless. He had a very intense look on his face, very angry. He had sleeve tattoos on both arms, which, like I said, if you're a TNA fan, you've never seen that before. He looked pretty daggone tough. I liked it. He came out, he looked pretty intense. I believe he had either had a steel chair or a trash can lid in his hand. But he came out looking tough, ready to rock and roll. I enjoyed it. These guys went at it. The match started off a little slow. They were you could tell they're kind of finding their way. They didn't want to just go chair to chair and all that nonsense. You got to, you want to do some fighting. They went back and forth, chairs, trash can lids to the head. I'm trying to think. A few turnbuckle spots. Speaking of turnbuckle, Bram has that signature turnbuckle with him, and he immediately tried to hit Shaw with it, but Shaw got out of the way. And I enjoyed it, guys. I mean, Shaw got the upper hand at one point, and he's ready to do his little, I forget what he calls it, but, he was doing the hand signals for his little go-to-sleep kind of choke deal he does. And Bram got out of the way, goes right over the top of the head of Shaw with that turnbuckle. Shaw's knocked out cold. It's out. 1, 2, 3. Bram gets the win. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. I like Bram. I could have won either way. I like both. So then the lovely and talented Brittany comes running down the ramp to check on, as they've been teasing from weeks prior, check on her new crush. I don't want to say love interest because it hasn't been reciprocated on both ends. And let me tell you, guys, Brittany came out there turning some heads and breaking some hearts. She looked good last night, huh? I enjoyed it. But she went in the ring and she's cradling Shaw and hoping him, helping him try to revive. And that's how the segment ends. They don't say anything. There's no contact, no words. That's how the segment ends. From there, let's see, we get another interview or a backstage segment with Bobby Roode. Basically, Roode at this point, he's shirtless. He's got his wrestling gear on. He's getting pumped up for the match. So they basically just said, hey, nothing's going to get in my way of getting that TNA title back around my waist. Nothing. This is what drives me. This is why I get up in the morning. No one's going to ever question or test my passion for that belt. And so it shows him getting ready. He's getting in that zone. He's ready for a match tonight. From there, we get a Team 3D and the Wolves. Actually, it started off with just Team 3D doing a little posturing, a little trash talking, telling the Wolves that, hey, you're good, but don't, be careful who you step to around here. Well, Wolves didn't give a darn. They stepped. They interrupted Team 3D. That's right. I said interrupted. Got in their faces. Nobody getting out of hand. Still some respect being shown, but the Wolves were saying, hey, you better respect us too. Because we still the champions. We beating you. And we're going to see the winner take all tonight. We're going to see. So we can talk, but we're going to see. Okay. Next, we get the Roode versus Kenny King versus MVP. Remember, this is 2-on-1, guys, okay? Decent match here. I enjoyed this. This was fun. They took it to Roode. They worked as a team. Roode did what he needed to do. If he were to, once he hit a decent move on one of the opponents, then he was able to focus on the other, have a little one-on-one time. Then they would kind of both jump on him again. But some particular spots that I remember calling were some nice suplexes. You got a nice fisherman suplex from MVP to Roode. You had a nice T-bone suplex. I believe Kenny King did to Roode as well. MVP was going for his drive-by kick. that kick he does to the head, and Rude got out of the way. So from there, he quickly rolls up MVP. He gets a 1, 2, and 3. Now, I wish they would have explained this, because at this point, I thought the match was over, but apparently this was an elimination match, which I don't recall them saying earlier, but that's how it went down. Got an elimination match. Now, this is where it got kind of fun and kind of unique as far as the way it ended. You had King and Rude going at it, one-on-one for a while there. King is going for a top rope spot, and he jumps down. Rude catches him on the shoulders. Boom! Quick Rude bomb. Rude is going for the 1, 2, 3. What do we have here? Oh no. Bobby Lashley, the champ, the destroyer, he runs down to the ring, just starts beating the heck out of Bobby Roode. He goes off on him, knocks him groggy. They stop the match. The match is over. Roode is slowly getting to his feet. Boom! Vicious spear from Bobby Lashley. Roode is done. He's out. So at this point, the champ and MVP and King, they all go to the back, They figure, hey, job done, mission accomplished. Then we get a EC3 backstage promo. He's get ready to let Rockstar Spud give him another chance to prove his loyalty. So he says he'll see us in the ring shortly. Then we get EC3. We come back from commercial break. EC3 is in the ring. He's cutting a promo on Spud, telling Spud, hey, I don't need friends. You're not a friend. You're a business associate. And because in business, you need loyalty, just like in friendship, I guess, too. But I'm going to give you one more chance to come straight. Give you one more chance to own up, and give you one more chance to be back in the fold. So Spud comes down in the ring looking very sad. He's still very firm in his belief that Ethan Carter was his best friend. Well, Spud proves that he's very knowledgeable and loyal to EC3 by going down the line with the microphone saying, hey, I remember all your matches. I remember, I know you like the temperature set on 71 degrees when we go to the hotels. I know you like when these fans try to get on you and say you can't wrestle. You say you disagree. You can't wrestle. I'm very good. Oh, so EC3 compliments Spud. Okay, no, you do know me, but that's easy stuff. Come on, Spud. Get down here and admit it. Because of you, my Aunt Dixie is gone. All you had to do was just stand in the way. Operation Human Shield or Human Spud, I think he said. I can't even remember. It was something funny. EC3 is a funny guy. But he gets down on him and it starts getting in his face. Spud looks very upset. Like he might cry. And EC3 smacks him, guys, right in the mouth. Big time slap. Spud is taken aback, hurt, sad. Another slap. At this point, you start to see that fire burn a little bit. All right, you back a dog into a corner. Eventually, he's gonna start rounding and biting back. This started to grow on Spud, and then he gets another slap. And let me tell you, the crowd was starting to get into it. And Spud he had an angry look on his face. And then immediately, EC3 goes one more time with slap. Spud had enough. Spud gets right back in his face, slaps the taste out of his mouth. That's right. Spud slaps EC3. The crowd is going nuts at this point. They want to see this. They want to see Spud change and go up against EC3. And we all know if this does eventually happen, he might take a serious beatdown. It happens. Guys, quick story. Have you ever stood up to a bully? Usually when you stand up to him, it stops one-on-one. But sometimes you pay a price with the group jumping. That happened to me, but it's still one of the proudest days of my life. Stood up to the bully, handled business, brought tears to his eyes for a change. And I paid the price later. That's that's the end of it. But so for me, even if Spud stands up to him and takes a vicious beat down, to me it's worth it because he stood up to him. And he ain't gonna try him like a punk ever again. Let's get on to it. Right, Spud gets angry after that third slap, gets back in EC3's face. EC3 is shocked. He can't believe what just happened. He can't believe it. Then he does I don't want to say the unthinkable, but he invokes his Carter clause, as we want to call it, I guess. Tells Spud, guess what? You may have the power to slap me back, but I got the power to do something else. You're fired. So he fires Spud. The crowd was into this segment, as I mentioned before. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Then from there, we got a video package of the tag team series, which, built up all this for the main event, which was, we had the one match with the Wolves versus the Hardys. We had the match with the Wolves and Team 3D. Now it's all coming together. It's full metal mayhem. We're going to have tables, chairs. We're going to have ladders. We're going to have veterans. We're going to have the up and comers. I know, just like you guys, I was ready. I know you were too. Let's get down to it. Oh, excuse me. Wait, I forgot. They did tease us of the match with the tag team series recap, but then it went somewhere else. MVP and King and Lashley were in the back celebrating. You know, they just got the job done, and Lashley has nothing to worry about. Well, they were interrupted. Kurt Angle storms into the room, tells MVP, "This is going to stop right here, right now. This is it. No more. You don't make matches around here. You don't book matches around here. You're not the general manager anymore. I'm in charge. And let me let you know, Rude will be in a number one contenders match next week to get another shot at Lashley's title. And neither one of y'all better not to come to this ring. So I imagine there will be suspensions or firings if they interrupt next week's match." They didn't say who the opponents were at this time, but they did say it at the end of the show. And don't worry, I'll let you guys know too. Okay, let's get down to page 3 here. Hey man, how am I still holding this one? Sorry guys, sorry about that. All right, here we go. Full Metal Mayhem. Great match, guys. This is like pay-per-view quality, pay-per-view style. This is like match of the summer type material here. It just was. When you have teams like this that can work like this, how really can you go wrong? They went in there and they left it all on the line. We had good spots long before weapons were even introduced. When I say good spots, for me, a spot doesn't have to be a jaw-dropping moment. Or maybe it does. I don't know. It depends who you ask. But to me, a good spot can equal just good wrestling. Okay, in that spot, they did some good chain wrestling. They did some good headlocks or, key locks and hammer locks, reversals. Stuff like that can be a spot to me. So you might hear me say spots in that context. That's what I mean. But it was a good match. Man, let me tell you, we had chairs. We had leg drops going through tables. Jeff Hardy, when are you going to stop, man? Oh, boy. Big time spots. Guys landing on the line. We had a Tower of Doom. We had a German suplex. The Wolves hit one of the Wolves, and I do get them mixed up, guys. One of the Wolves hit Matt Hardy with a vicious German suplex right on top of some chairs. It was awesome. Awesome as the viewer. I'm sure it wasn't awesome for Matt Hardy. It looked like there might have been a little awkward landing on that neck. From there, we got a Tower of Doom spot. Then we got David Richards was powerbombed from Bully Ray up onto a guardrail that they had laid out flat. So, no, he didn't go straight on to a guardrail, thank goodness. But it was laid flat, and he bent it. It was nasty. It looked very painful. Jeff crashed and burned through a table that he had set up to try to leg drop Bully Ray. But here's the thing, guys. He had the table laying flat with the legs up in the air. Come on, Jeff. Stop it. Stop. He lands clear through the table, metal side up, and he's done. He's out. I think that was the last we saw him in the match. The crowd was on their feet. They never sat down. They never stopped cheering. The crowd was eating this up. Man, this is how, you want to talk about pay-per-views. This could be bound for glory right now. No complaints from me. Let's see here. All right, now, they get up. Jeff slowly works his way as, some wrestling takes place. Jeff slowly eases his way back into the ring and slowly climbs up a ladder. They're trying to race to the belts to get the belts down to see who's going to win. And the Wolves see how close Jeff is. Jeff is actually at the top of the ladder at this point. They hurry up and run in. They push the ladder that Jeff is on. Jeff is on the very top. He falls forward and lands like I guess you could say, a crossbody or even maybe a big-time splash onto two tables outside. And I believe Bully Ray was on. Yeah, it was Bully Ray. He was laying on the tables. He gives Jeff just crash and burns right through him. So that kind of took them out. Devon eases into the ring. He's trying to climb the ladder. Now, he was dealing with a groin injury all night, so he was moving slow. He tries to climb up the ring. Wolves up there as well. They're all fighting and, posturing who's going to get up there first. They knock Devon off the ladder. And let's see. Yeah, they knock Devon off the ladder. They're climbing up to it. I forget which one. Like I said, I get them mixed up. But one of the Wolves grabs the first belt down, throws it down. I was like, okay, that's the match. And then apparently Mike Tenay says, no, they have to get both straps down to end the match. And that's what they did. They got both belts down. Matt Hardy tried to stop them before they got the second belt down, but to no avail. He got knocked down. And the Wolves, they proved it. They are the men. They're the men right now. It's their time. Hardy, Team 3D, they can all still go, but it's the Wolves' time right now. What did you guys think? To me, this was out of the park material right here. To me, this should have been the pay-per-view. And speaking of that pay-per-view, I'm going to do an in-depth video on that, and that's going to have to be another video because I'm really not looking forward to that card. But I will discuss that later. Check back today, okay? But I enjoyed it, guys. What did you think? I think it was probably the best wrestling show I saw in a few weeks. It was definitely better than anything I've seen on Raw within the past month, easily. I enjoyed it. What did you think? Comment down below. Tell a friend. I'm going to try to give you guys these reviews. I hope this didn't go too long for some of you. I hope you enjoyed it. Just let me know in the feedback. Did you like my shorter videos? You want a little bit shorter than this? You know, we're still trying to grow the channel here. So let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend, and come back later. We're going to have some more TNA news. We're going to do a Bound for Glory preview. So please, thanks for watching. I'm Bezell. Y'all have a good day out there. Bezell out.